So I just wanted to talk about Clash scoring strategy that we figured out throughout the clashes that we've done. Um, Basically, it's, as we all know, it's a scoring system based off of birdies, eagles, pars, bogeys. You get a certain amount of points for each hole that you do. But the first 10 places here all have multipliers. So if you shoot a good round, um, the higher points you get, the higher multiplier you get, and then the more points you get. Now we like to use the super passes early to set the foundation of first, second, third, fourth, based off of the super passes because it's double points. So we like to use them early to get ourselves the most points right off the bat with the higher multipliers. After that, we shoot normal rounds, um, and a pattern starts to develop where you'll see multiple scores, and you'll see scores obviously below the super pass because it's not double points, it's only single. Um, but that pattern will develop. And then what happens next is the last spot, which in this case is ninth, is 101 points. And the math on that is it's 8 birdies and 1 par. So if you're able to replicate this score of 101 of 8 birdies and 1 par, you'll get the multiplier twice for 202 points. And that basically, you can do that continuously over and over again, which you can see it's been done multiple times by myself and Gardner. That 101 is all multiplied by 2. So each round is worth 202 points. If you were to shoot below 101, let's say you shot a 90 points, you would only get 90 points because it doesn't fall under the multiplier. If you shot above 101, that would still register as a multiplier, but now this number over here would become 10th instead of ninth. So this number is very important. If it says 8th, ninth, or 10th, you can shoot a score above 101 and have it go above 101, and then this would change to 10th. Okay? If this were to say 8th on the last one, you could shoot 2 rounds above 101, and it would now change to ninth and then 10th. This is where it gets really tricky. If it says 10th and someone shoots a round above 101, all of these 2 times multipliers would fall off. So all these double points, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 101s, they would all turn into singles. Because now 10th would become 107 because you would have shot a score above 101. And so by doing that, you would knock off all of these 2 times. So there's 7 of them, so you'd lose 707 points. So this score up here at 89.74, you would actually lose points by shooting a better score over 101. And this would be subtracted. And that's bad. So when when we have a lot of rounds logged and we see this pattern develop, it's important to know what the multiplier number is at 101, the combination. If it's 6 birdies, 3 pars, 7 birdies, 3 pars, 8 birdies, a par. It's important to be aware of that final combination number for this score of 101, which in this case is 8 birdies and 1 par. Hard to do, but it has been replicated 7 times already, to get the 2 times multiplier. It essentially saves you another round. If you shot 100, you'd only get 100 points. But if you shot the 101, it would double and you get the extra 101. So late in the match, to get this number higher, we like to replicate this score and deliberately shoot, in this case, 8 birdies and 1 par. If you eagle a par 5, you then want to deliberately shoot below 101. If you bogey any hole, you can't get to 101 unless you hole out a couple times. But it's important to be aware of what that 101 is. So a lot of the times on the last hole, like let's say someone did 8 birdies in a row, on the final hole, you know, if you get it close, you want to deliberately 2-putt that to make par. You know, if you're within 5 feet, you want to miss the putt on purpose just to get the extra 101 points. I know it goes against traditional instinct in golf to be like, well, I want to make that birdie to get 9 birdies in a row. It's pretty impressive, yeah, but you're actually missing out on a lot of value with the doubler if you don't make that putt. So that's kind of the strategy we like to use. Works well against non-competitive clubs. I mean, this guy did 2 rounds here, but he stopped playing, and so it kind of allowed us to see the pattern develop. It doesn't really work well if you're playing against a competitive club because they might be aware, they might not be aware, but you know, the whole idea obviously is to get the most points, and if they use super passes and if they score low points, they'll knock us off already anyway. So that's when we have to shoot just whatever we can and do the best we can. But when you encounter a club that doesn't play much or has less activity, it's important that this multiplier is at 101 is used, because it saves you rounds. You're getting 2 for the price of 1 over and over and over again, and that can drive this score up. And it could be the difference between finishing 20th place to finishing 12th, you know, and that's what we like to do. Nothing gets me more upset than to see someone accidentally knock all these points off, shoot a good score, say, hey, you know, I just did 9 birdies or 8 birdies and 1 eagle. That's great and everything, but you just killed off 700 points of the score. So it's just important to be aware late game what the combination is for the 10th spot. I usually like to say it late in the game, you know, 6 birdies, 3 pars, 7 birdies, 3 pars. We like to keep it simple, like a combination where it's pretty easily achievable. It's nothing crazy like, oh, you have to do 5 birdies, a par, a bogey, like stuff like that makes it really complicated. But if you keep it simple, like 6 birdies, 3 pars, 7 birdies, 3 pars, you know, you can keep track of that a lot easier. Any questions you have, feel free to ask me, but I hope I explained the strategy that we like to use, and this video should be helpful to a lot of people. All right, thank you.